So picture this, guys. It's a beautiful, cracking, sunny day. You've woken up a little bit late, so by the time you got to the anchorage, the only spots left are the exposed, rolly, windy ones. So your lunch is falling off the table. Well, we've got a solution for you today because we're on the Beneteau 36 GT with outboards, not the inboards. So you can come to places like this and get in front of everyone and pick the best spot. So that's what it's all about. In this video, we're going to be touring right through the boat. We're going to see how many people you can realistically accommodate for a lunch for the day. And then we're going to have a look at the accommodation and see what is a realistic number of people and how comfortable you're going to be for an overnight. Keep watching. A boat like this, equipped with Elon Musk's Starlink, acting as a really fun, nice work from boat situation. That's one of the good seats. I'm very impressed. Starting up here on the bow, one of the really super nice things about the GT range is they've managed to flare the hull out. So you've got a nice amount of cutting V action down below. If you want to know how it drives, separate video, I'll link to that at the end of this demonstration. But that allows us to have this awesome sun lounge. I mean, check this out. I'm 5'7". I reckon I could sit up here with 6 people, should I care to do so. So very comfortable. Good amount of angle on the backrest. You even have a little headrest there. You could sleep all afternoon because there's also a sunshade that will install and protect this area with 4 poles, and it's a mesh shade, so it goes in quite easily. I like how they haven't covered up the hatch here. Whilst downstairs is air conditioned, it's nice to have ready access to fresh air. Don't worry about taking these cushions off. There's a cover that goes over the whole area, so you can literally just leave them in place and throw the cover on at the end of the day. Nice and simple. So up this bow area here, it is possible to board people if you're picking them up from a fixed dock. That's how I got on this morning. So if you've got a fixed dock and you've got to board people at the bow, just undo this and they can step over, grab handle on either side. So that's nice and easy. Electric anchor operated from the helm. We have obviously anchored it and I used that today. So in terms of space, that's probably the biggest takeaway for me up here. It is quite epic, remembering we're on a 36 GT. It's quite, yeah, really quite impressive. It feels like 40 plus footers from only 10 years ago. That's the vibe I'm getting right now, and let me know what you think in the comments below. I note 2 windscreen wipers. The 41 that I was on last week only had 1. I don't know why. I'll always take 2 if I can get it. They've got freshwater wash as well. Come and have a look at the sunroof. Another thing, I actually like them doing this on the GTs. They haven't made it a glass sunroof. It's nice to actually have some sun protection. So if you want the sun, open it, get the air. If you don't, close it. It's electrically operated in these just tracks here. And I use the design of this roof as a handhold, because if you are in some exposed waters, she's not the heaviest boat around. She will rock a little bit, so just pay attention to have a hand on something at all times, and then you've got your safety rails just along here. Waist out, midships cleat, rope protector just there. That's all important. And the design, which we're going to talk about when we get downstairs, with these new windows, allows for really good visibility. So having the sliding glass opening windows and the actual wraparound glass is a much better setup than GTs of the past. This range has been around for a while, so if you didn't know, there's a progression in the GT range. This is the latest and greatest, but it's not the first GTs that have been around. VHF, navigation lights just there, GPS, and then an air horn just above. We've got an extendable aft bimini to give us some extra shade. We do actually have some stairs coming down here. I'll just show you. We've obviously got a second anchor out, and then you can actually come and use these stairs, Alex. Shore power in, and then we've got the flexi teak out the back here, which is always good stuff. I like this as opposed to real teak. It's not too hot under my feet. It's nice and soft. It's also good in winter time. So it retains a pretty consistent temperature. So if you want to walk around barefoot on the cold days, like me, it's still comfortable as opposed to walking on fiberglass, which would be possibly a little bit cold on your feet. So we've got the V10 350s out the back here. Great motors, awesome setup. The weight balance, moving the inboard motors, the weight of the inboard motors out aft here has not negatively affected the performance. We got 37 knots top speed today. We got comfortable cruising speed of 27 and a fast cruising of 30. An offshore or a wave zone speed of about 23. We'll cover all that in the test drive. We've got a telescopic swim ladder just out here on starboard. That's a pretty stock standard swim ladder just there, but we also quite intelligently have the hot and cold shower just as immediately as you exit the water, you can shower yourself off here. These are the courtesy lights just there. I'm not sure if that's going to put light everywhere as opposed to just down with the design of that light, so it's worth checking that out and see if it bothers you or not. And this looks like good attachment points, possibly for foam inflatable toys and those sorts of things if you want to have just somewhere to store them on the back of the boat on your way to the beach. Aft cleats just here, kid and doggy door just there. And let's start appreciating the layout, because this is one of the cool things about this particular boat. Many of these designed in the last few years, they had full beam and then a glass opening door through the windscreen, which was okay, but not having access to the side decks made it a little bit more difficult around the dock when you're trying to get to your midships cleat. And so there were some compromises. Whereas now we have that stairway, which we just accessed on the port side. This one here on the starboard, you've got a grab handle here, and then you could even hold on to this railing and step your way up here and hold on. Yes, the side decks are not super beamy, so just pay attention to that, but they're good enough. So I think the middle ground, which Beneteau designers have managed to reach with this particular design, is preferable for many of you, because from an operational aspect, it's just going to be that little bit easier. And just remember to hold on in wave zones if that's an issue for you. So we got waste out, diesel in. Now the diesel's obviously for the Jenny. It's not for the motors, because they definitely run on petrol. Don't do that. That's for the Jenny. We've got the Jenny running, so if you listen as we walk downstairs, that's the amount of noise it makes because we have the AC on. And then we've got petrol in here and here in two tanks, two separate tanks on side to side. We will look at that at the end of the video. So, sun lounge. It's a moderately sized sun lounge. It's good for probably 2 large adults or 3 kids, maybe 4 teenage girls. Couple of drink holders, but you can adjust this backrest here. So that's in lunch mode and that's in sun lounge mode, just so you know. Throw the cushions in and out. And this, it's loose right now, but it does actually have some attachments to hold it down. I'll just show you underneath here, because we have great amount of storage here. As you can see, we've got all the boat's covers, we've got the clears in here, we have a spare anchor, and we've got some fenders, ropes as well. So that's really well accessed. The only thing I don't like is these little stupid latches here, which then make it hard to access this. So I would actually piss them off and change it to a press stud. Really easy fix, and it'll save your day. So this is another neat little option here. I like putting Barbies at the back of the boat so the smells don't get caught up in the middle of the cockpit here. So that's a sensible location. Electric, run off the Jenny, do a couple of steaks and snags. You'll have to sort something out if you're doing eggs and bacon in the morning, because might need a flat plate for that. Got a cutting board just here, and then we've got what looks like hot and cold, little sink, little tap set up just there, and it's nice having that extra workspace. Proper isotherm fridge, that's got the small freezer drawer just in there, and we actually have a bin just over here, and I think that's on a slider. It is. There you go. So that's neat, well contained, professionally done. I like that. We've got the heat protector there, and then this can serve as an area. Say if you've just been to the cafe instead of cooking, you could put some food here instead. So that's also an option. But come on inside. They have thought out the placement of your equipment, so we can put all the boaty stuff, ropes, fenders, bits and pieces underneath that sun lounge just there. But then we have space underneath the seats, and I like that it's just open, so when people get on board with their handbags and their beach bags, many of them can just take shoes off, kick them underneath this side here, and then put handbags there. So beach bags, handbags, whatever, are accessible throughout the day, but they're not cluttering up the decks, so they're going to get in your way. So I think that's a sensible design. Cushions are comfy, backrests are good. Let's have a look here. That's one of the good seats. Beautiful view. You'll have to turn the camera around in a second. I appreciate that because that's amazing. And then this social area over here. Actually, come up here, Alex, and then look back so everyone can see their potential view, because it really is quite pleasant. That's it, guys. With the wraparound glass, right, like this, and only the one cover at the back of the boat to remove, this could be your movable home, your floating office, whatever you want it to be. So we've got a lockable locker in here, which I suggest is good for a safety grab bag, and that means it's easily accessible whenever you get checked by the water police. And this is a proper lunch table, so that's good. We can do 4 settings at least. The only thing is, people on that side, if you're sitting here, you might be leaning forward a little bit to eat. So yeah, that's not going to work, but this will. So you might just need a little stool or something for that person if that's important to you. Quite easily get 4+ people around here though, and once again, quite comfortable. I note we got some downlights above us just here. We've got speakers there and there. We even had speakers, I forgot to mention, up in the bow lounge behind, incorporated into the cushions actually, which is a nice touch. So yes, great sun protection tool here, but extendable if you get the Bimini, which actually takes you all the way over the sun lounge just there. So sun and rain protection pretty much all day. Let's focus in on the helm now. Dual helm seat. Now this person, the navigator, is going to be locked in, so they won't be able to exit whilst you're underway. That will require the helmsman or woman to move, but I love having these windows. We have one on either side, so we've got ventilation coming through the roof. If it's raining, we just use these windows, but we also have air conditioning just here at the helm, so that's good. And it's big enough to actually stick your head out and increase your visibility, so that's really, really nice. From a standing position, let's put this seat all the way back. So that's the maximum space you have to account for any bellies that you might have. And then this is also adjustable to give yourself a little bit of extra room if necessary. I'm 5'7", we've gone up a step. So at my height, if you just get the camera back, Alex, and look forward so we'll show what everyone would be looking at. From my standing position, I'm actually got a little bit of a loss of visibility from this pillar here. So my preference would be to sit, and then I've got great visibility just here. We are touching that boat. So come in and let's focus on the actual features of the helm now, Alex, so everyone can see. So down here at your right-hand leg, you have both the key starts. That's okay because you're unlikely to knock that with your knee and turn it off by accident, so I don't have a problem with that. It's when they put these keys up here, which is when I have a problem with it, because people with long legs, not me obviously, are going to accidentally switch the thing off. VHF just there, good sensible position. Engine diagnostics just there. Yes, we know the oil level's okay. Joystick, so we've got station hold, we can slide it in and out, and we also have a bow thruster on this boat, so we have ultimate control, and you can do it the good old-fashioned way as well with these throttles, and you've got single start stop for both motors, so you go power power, press the button, and away you go. Yes, we have a safety, but like, are you going to fall off this helm? Unlikely. So if you're worried about your skill set and figure you're going to slide off and sit in the other seat by accident, stick it on, but if not, don't worry about it. There's a zip weight just there, so good, adequate, enough for this style of boat. It's not millimeter accuracy, but it's not a high-speed, high-performance boat. It's a sports cruiser, so it's fine. Flat screen Garmin display just there. Clearly, enough space for a second one if you want. So just not a problem if that's of interest to you. Plastimo compass, I mentioned the air conditioning outlets. We do have AC on this one. This is your chain counter just there. This is your bow thruster. This is some phone charging. Now the only issue is if you leave a phone up here, in Australian sun, it's probably going to overheat, so just put something over it. That's feeling hot already. Or close the sunroof. That's the other solution. Drink holders there and there. Boat systems all here, including anchor operation, which we've already just used. So that button there is the one that actually opens up into the equipment room, which we'll cover later in the video. So the port side, you step down just here, and then this seat is probably most comfortable for one person to do this, but you could do two people facing forward. Now you have a bit of an armrest here, but if you're gonna lie this way, that handle will be in your back, so it's better to just close the window a little bit if required. Other than that, feels quite comfortable, plenty of headroom, couple of downlights forward, drink holders just here, and we have a sliding companionway hatch just there, so it's not gonna open out and get in your feet. It's actually not sliding, I think it's concertinas, yeah. Well, there you go, boom. That's a nice, clever solution, stores well in the space available. Again, a Beneteau design thing. So come on downstairs, pay attention to the darker colors on the dash here, so nothing's gonna reflect and ruin your visibility on a sunny day. I didn't have any issues in the sun today. Down the stairs, reasonably deep stairs, and into the air-conditioned, beautiful environment we have downstairs. So I want you to just soak this up, and I want you to also watch the 41 GT video and let me know what you see value, because it's almost hard to tell the difference. Obviously they're very different boats inherently, but still two cabins, a decent amount of space. Some of you might actually see just as much value in this one as opposed to going for the bigger boat. One of the uses I see of a space like this down here, now that they have put these big windows in, remember the older, or if you might not remember, the older GTs just had circular windows, so you weren't able to appreciate the views as well that you can enjoy now. So I really see a boat like this equipped with Elon Musk's Starlink acting as a really fun, nice work from boat situation. You could come down here, set up a laptop, be by yourself and just have wonderful days, having a swim, put a board in the water. You can still have a bit of a view out to the beach just there. So we're really not sacrificing anything. And finally, I want to point out the glass above just there. So even if it was a cold day, provided it's sunny, it's going to be quite a nice environment down here. And I think by the color scheme that they have used, let's see the white along here and then complemented with the browns, it makes the space feel quite large. So that's your storage. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 across there. We also have storage underneath the seating just here. And then we have a neat little storage space here. So that's good for wallets, phones, knickknacks. And that one in there is good for the boat manuals, other systems. I'd put some laptops when they're stowed in their bags in there as well. You got your 240 controls or panels, breakers just in there. And then we've got fusion display, aircon control, 240 just there. What's that? It's probably 12 volt. It is, that's 12 volt. So you can do full on dedicated phone charging here. Got speaker up there. I have the boat's batteries, ship to shore, so genset, ship to shore, battery controls just up here. That's all in a sensible spot where it should be. And then come forward and we'll check out the galley. Neat galley. Remember, we've already got the barbecue station out the back. You're probably also going to take a boat like this to cafes. So this is, are you going to use this all the time? I don't know, you tell me. But we've got a 2-burner Kenyan, that's electric just there. We also have single stainless steel sink, hot and cold water. We've got this space here. I would actually arrange this in such a fashion where I have plate storage and maybe some bowls, plates, cups and things like that. Just have one of those wooden racks because it's going to dry well with the window open or the AC on, and it's just easily accessible. You obviously have storage up above here. That might work for foodstuffs and pots and pans as well. And then you got your microwave just there. Who still uses microwaves on boats? So leave a comment below. I haven't used a microwave on a boat in a long time. Anyway, 240s just there. Got the bin just here. And then I've got a second fridge with a larger freezer drawer compared to the one upstairs, just accessible like so. I'm standing on the carpet. It feels quite soft, woolen carpet. It's nice and comfy, and I like, once again, how they've done this mirror on the bulkhead, so it makes this whole space feel quite large. It is a very nice space. But this is really, really cute. Just soak all that in, let the camera adjust, and try and get that into your mind, because it's a lovely space. And for a 36-foot boat, this feels like a 40-foot cabin. Basically, it's very, very nice. The windows are giving us a beautiful amount of pleasure. When you're in bed, you can sit up, you can look out, through, reading a book, waking up in the morning, having a nap in the day. You can drop the concertina blinds if you want to knock out the sun, and you don't have to do the AC because we've got the forward-facing hatch, which is also an escape hatch, just above the bed head, and there is a sunshade across that, so don't worry if you want to knock out the sun. You've got charging on each bed head. We've got a reading light, 240 and double 12-volt chargers, so you can do your AirPods and your phone right next to your bed, and then you can even put away other valuables just here in a nice neat storage spot. And then this is soft, just so there's no sharp edges, so if you're rolling around in bed for whatever reason, I'm not going to talk about that on this channel, you're not going to hurt yourself. So this is hanging storage there. You can see the ventilation going aft for the AC. That's your AC control just in here, and we have other AC controls around. And note that this being an island bed, each person can step out via these stairs and move aft. So if you've got to get up in the night for a pee, it's not going to disturb your partner. And this side on starboard is the shelves. So you're both sharing the hanging locker and the shelves, and you kind of have a side each. It's just good enough for a long weekend. And then maybe a little bit of extra storage here. That is shallow though, because we've got the freshwater tank below, but you got a little bit of storage on either side. The bow thruster batteries are below my feet, and then I'd probably just do a few blankets, just one of those soft blankets in here, just in case it got cold. That's probably the place to put that, I guess. Maybe you could also roll up a few more blankets and put them on the side. That could work as well. Let me know what you think. So, floorboards are a little bit squeaky. You're going to get that on every production boat in this range, so it is what it is. The head is quite impressive because we have a proper separate shower. I note on the 41 GT, the toilet is actually in this location, so make of that what you will, but this is quite good. I'll just close the door to give you some perspective. So I'm 5'7", that's me closing the door. I had about that much space in front of my belly. So, and if you were worried about that, you can actually sit down and still close the door. So none of this area is going to get affected by your showering. And you have a window just there to let out any steam and vent the area. And you've just got an access hatch, and I'm standing on teak, not flexi teak. So that's all pretty neat. And how tall are you again, Alex? You're
6'2".
You're 6'2", so just stand up and give me the camera. Let's show how much headroom you have in here. Where's your head? So there's probably 4 inches above your head.
Yeah, about that, yeah.
So for most of these boats, I wanted to do that specifically because a lot of these boats sacrifice space in the head compartment, but for a big bloke like Alex to still be able to stand up in here, it's not a bad setup. So, okay, so we got 2 toiletries bags in there, I think. Let's have a look behind here. Okay, so that's just service access. Okay, that's your pressure water just there. So you got loo rolls. I'll probably just jam a few extra loo rolls behind there. I would then do toiletries bags up here, and then I would roll up spare beach towels and shove them here and here. And that just gets me through. Got a little mirror here, towel holders just there, and then we go out. Flat floor on the timber, so you go from timber to carpet, but it's the same floor going in. And again, we don't need to worry about any moisture because it's all contained in the separate shower area. Big door, and you step down into the second cabin, which is arguably another master. So I think the bed head is over on port because they've got reading lights, but just come and feel this. You'd need to pad this with cushions because this actually gets in your back if you're sitting up, but that's okay. I think I would just put cushions to solve that problem. But I have a huge amount of space above my head. We have this ginormous bed which can be converted to 2 singles, so you can see the centerpiece can be removed. That's actually the bow sunshade and poles, which we'll erect at some point and show you. But I want you to see the storage lockers. So we've actually got one of our bags in here. Great place. One of them has a hot water tank. There it is. But then we have 2 storage lockers on the other side, just here. So this one's deeper and this one's a little bit shallower, but they're not bad. Like, you'll get lots of stuff in there. Remember, this is a day boat which you go out for the weekend. Got some charging just here. I'm actually charging my drone batteries, so don't tell anyone. So for that purpose, it's very, very good. Big windows, so the windows carried all the way through. I think this is just a huge advantage for those beautiful summer weekends when you are going to overnight. Being able to look out through here just changes the whole space as opposed to what we had available to us only a few years ago. And again, small opening windows for natural ventilation if you don't want to do the AC. So let's head out here, head back up on deck. I'll just show you, there was this one more little shelves. That's quite deep. Like, that's you stretch your whole arm out, so that's not a bad little storage space. And then I've got AC behind the door just there. So the air conditioning back here, and there is also more technical stuff going on behind this bulkhead, accessible from in here. Things like air conditioning piping and some wiring loom going forward and aft. It's all accessible. So I told you I would show you the equipment room. This would be where the engines are on the other model. So now we've got a whole equipment space, access to the fuel tanks, and I would argue extra storage as well, guys. So come down here and check it all out. Just keep pointing the camera at me first before I grab it off you and bring it down. Pay attention to the space we have on either side of the gen set, and I'm going to show you the space we have forward. But we've got a diesel Cummins Jenny. Just pass me that camera. That's centrally mounted. We've got the electric worm drive to open this hatch. That is the diesel fuel tank just there. But look at all of that space which could be utilised for storing something. Then we come over here on starboard, and that looks like a holding tank just there. And look at all that space. How good's that? And then we've got fuel tank on starboard, fuel tank on port. They've got access hatches, and then we've got batteries on port. So we got house, we got house and crank, and then we got the gen set crank at my feet. Where is it? There it is. Okay, so just think about that from a storage perspective. It's not bad. Let's close this hatch now, and just listen to the noise levels. Look at the insulation. Watch your toes and Kitty's fingers and things when this is closing. It really is quite impressive. It's not going to disturb you for a day of work from boat or a day of social activities. That insulation, the gen set itself already is quite a quiet one. Can you hear? Look at that. It's not going to annoy other people. It's not going to annoy your lunch. So I think that's a great setup. Would you choose this boat over the 41 or vice versa? Let me know what you think. I think I'm very impressed with the amount of space, the layout, what I don't see as a compromise, these side decks giving us all of this awesome social space that we've got right now. Let me know what you think, and I think the number one point we need to focus on, the number one advantage for this boat, is having those outboard engines, because we can come in shallow provided you are confident, provided you have got the skills and the situational awareness to drive in shallow water and around other people and other boats. That's an important point. As long as you can handle that, get in here and enjoy the best spots in every bay. This is where everyone wants to go. So why not just go there? That's what a boat like this lets you do. And it really is that good. You're completely protected from the wind, from the waves, and all the other, action that's going on out the back there. So come in, pick the best spot, and enjoy it. That's it for the walkthrough, guys. We're going to go for a test drive now. Before we get there, if you're new to the channel, I'm independent. I make these videos for you so you can help decide what boat suits your boat life. If you get some value from this content, I would appreciate your support. So please like, share, subscribe if you haven't already. If you can, get on support the Patreon. I would appreciate that. That helps me keep these videos independent, and then nobody needs to influence me, and I don't need to influence you, because you can just make a decision for yourself. So we're going driving. We're going to go find some waves. We're going to see how fast this thing goes and how she performs and what it's like to get into the shallow water. You're invited. That's a separate video. It's coming up on the screen right now. Click on that link and you can come along and join for the ride. Thanks very much. See you on the next one.